This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, and we're welcoming you to Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
You are a huge part of our show, and the way we can make that happen is Sweet Baby James, our social media guru.
Oh, yeah. You're watching this on over 219 stations across this great country of ours and globally on the American Forces Network. You can definitely check us out on social media, all our social media channels, streaming platforms. And you can go to our website, dailyflashshow.com, to click on where to watch to see where we are in your neck of the woods. And you can sound off. I need you to sound off on our question of the day.
Okay.
All right. If you could try any job for a day, what would it be?
Ooh, I know.
What do you tell us?
Hollywood director.
Really?
I would love to direct a movie.
Not in California, though. You want to do it in Georgia? We get cheap
Georgia or Florida.
taxes.
Yeah, for sure. No,
Then she wouldn't be a Hollywood director.
that
Well,
is
you
true.
still can't.
But I think it would be
got you.
fun. I think it would be fun on a set
studio
and like,
lot, first
oh,
off,
the
is
studio
the
lot's
coolest.
amazing.
You've been on a studio lot?
Yeah.
It's
I've been.
It's magical.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because it brings you back to the, back in the 50s
Yeah.
and 40s and stuff when they used to do.
I used to do extra work on the West Wing. It wasn't at,
Were you an FBI agent?
Me
You got
too.
back in
you
the
really?
day.
Yeah.
DC.
Oh, in D.C.
Yeah, used to
Oh,
do
I
in
was in
DC.
Los Angeles. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
I chewed extra gum.
How about you, Mitch?
I would love to be a pilot. Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And you know how much the training those guys go through and everything, but to me, I would love.
That's a great
and, you know,
one.
and I had an opportunity to fly one of those little twin-engine planes,
Yeah.
or whatever, with an instructor, and it was amazing. I was
Yeah.
so scared though.
Oh, I
And the
bet.
guy was like, "Yeah, you're gonna crash. You're fine." I'm like, "Oh, no, dude." He goes, "Just loosen up. You're fine." And I guess that's what I would.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
man, I'm kind of all over the place. Initially, I was going to think intimacy coach when I was like, maybe a little bit too far.
James.
So,
That would actually be. You could watch. Here's the thing. Your problem is you would go, "Now, can I show you how? Can I show you how you're supposed to do this?"
Would you be observing or participating?
Somebody got to teach them.
That's funny.
I can volunteer as a
I don't know if it
sacrifice,
should be
but I'll make that sacrifice for you.
You'd make the sacrifice.
Intimacy coach.
Oh boy, James. And was there a plan B in there?
Oh,
No
yeah,
plan
yeah.
Plan B is
Honestly.
if she gets pregnant. You have to name it Phil.
You know what? I always wanted my own lab. Honestly, I wanted my own
lab, like a laboratory?
Yeah. So I can, work on things in my head, get those
You just want
patents.
to wear
and
the
so on
white
and so
jacket.
forth.
I can get you a
Yeah,
white jacket.
I can do that one, not the one that ties up in the back.
You don't want that white jacket.
Well, you can do that if you're an intimacy coach.
Yeah, that's a whole
I know.
different level of intimacy.
I'm afraid this show is got we're headed down the road right now.
Race car driver. That's another one. Race car driver.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
that's
get to
dope.
have you done anything close to that?
No.
Formula One? I like Formula
Oh,
One. I'm
Formula
a big
One's,
Formula One.
yeah.
They
no.
make it look so easy.
They do, right?
Oh, my gosh.
But it is much harder than you
Reaction
actually
times
Yes.
on those guys.
Can
the
I tell you,
quickness.
have you been to the Daytona racetrack and signed your name?
I have, yes.
It is, you don't realize how steep that bank
Oh,
is.
yes. No one does.
It's like this, y'all.
Because when you see it on television, it
Yeah.
looks like nothing. It looks, but to stand
Say,
on that you're like basically
fall.
sideways.
You can take a picture and like lean back.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
that much
Yes.
of a lean.
And they tell people, because we do walks there, like
Yeah.
health walks and so on and so forth, do not go in the corners because they don't want that, anything to happen, because any little thing,
Yes.
send them off.
Yeah. That's
I
true.
think people realize how fast they go. You can
Yes.
see a speed limit, and you realize, 150 miles
Yeah.
an hour, 200 miles an hour. But when you see it, it is completely different
Yeah.
than what 200 miles an hour
Right.
looks like.
Yes.
It sounds like too. Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. One woman on social media has declared war on a pizza topping.
What?
All right.
Please don't say what I think it is.
Get ready for this.
I saw this video of this girl who said that the way that a man views tofu reflects how they view women. And I actually think that the way that anyone views vegetarianism, veganism, tofu reflects who they are as a person, politically and morally. I personally think that if you can't reduce your meat intake, then you are selfish. Like, what do you mean you can't just have a veggie burger once in a while? And why are you turning up your nose to tofu?
So as phony as that sounds, women like her claim to have a strong case for seeing a meat topping on a pizza
Oh my gosh.
is a red flag.
Well, okay, all right.
All right,
I have an idea here.
She believes that a man's choice of pizza toppings reflects his attitude toward the environment. Her video, believe it or not, racked up more than 500,000 views and comments. She believes a man's desire for meat toppings on a pizza also reveals his stance on animal welfare. She also believes the desire for protein on pizza is a sign of toxic masculinity. Her words, not mine. She says veganism is her moral baseline and claims there is no against argument strong enough to counter her fellow vegans and veggies.
This helps her because you're not a vegan unless you tell at least 12 people a day that you're a vegan, and that's exactly what she's doing here. She's laying out what she believes.
Yes,
What I'm saying,
fine.
hey, that's what you believe. Totally get that. But that is so convoluted. You're thinking that is what you can know. I know everything about you because you don't eat meat, and you're blaming and labeling other people, men or whoever, that do. And pizza is sacred.
That's it.
It is.
It is sacred.
I agree.
It's making me so upset. Look, I wish we could take a shot at the control room. I just want to tell you guys, your generation is cooked. She's part of your generation. There's always an excuse to knock off somebody or don't want to be a part of or any relationship. Come on. And you can tell she's not from America because in America, the ladies love the meats and the protein.
Here's the thing: is that staying on the pizza topping, 30 minutes is pretty fast if you're looking at it that way. But now, it costs a lot more to have a pizza delivered, and it's well over 30 minutes, right?
Yes.
So if you're going to look at it that way, we're going to look at you as pizza the same way, all right?
Oh,
think of it that way.
30 minutes is way too long to be on a date with her.
Or
Yes.
anything else.
I can see that.
That's my issue about it all. Is
Yeah.
that you get on this level because people don't eat or do something that you're like, everybody else is stupid. And my way of thinking is the right way, and I can tell because how you order a pizza.
Yes.
Entitlement.
Well, it's entitlement, but it's also this elitism where it's like everybody has to tolerate my point of view, and I promote tolerance. Yet I'm intolerant of anybody who doesn't believe what I think and do, which is outrageous and stupid.
I'm glad that she actually put this video out, and maybe more do, because I can find out more about her. I could see that she and I would never be a match. First off, pizza is that's the beautiful thing about pizza is that you can put anything you want, anything at all, and you can make it any way you like, and it's still a beautiful thing. I have eaten vegan pizza before and gluten-free, and cardboard is very tasty.
It is what it is.
I get that. It goes along with the message of, don't eat meat. But to say male, what they say, toxic?
Masculine
toxicity.
Yeah.
Really is because I ordered pepperoni on my pizza.
It's crazy.
I have this attitude that, men beating my chest. That's not the case.
It drives me nuts.
You can't categorize people like that.
No.
I feel sorry for the simp that she's gonna have that's gonna agree with her.
Well, but here's the thing. That's the problem. Is like she puts this out here, and then she gets thousands of people who comment and say, "You go, girl," and I totally agree, and this, that, and the other thing. So she has this false sense of security, and she's got a whole group of people and a whole movement behind her. Her argument is, you can't say anything to me because there's nothing bad about being a vegan or being vegetarian.
I'll eat a pizza right in front of
I would deliver a pizza, meat lover's pizza to her if I needed it. But it also tells me that, it says, again, everything about her, about what it is. But if I would have commented on that, they won't even listen to me because what it is,
toxic
masculinity. And
toxic.
Really, if she was saying this out of jest, but it doesn't sound like that was the case.
It doesn't
I think
come
she
across
really
that
believes
way.
this.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel.
But here's the other question.
It's a big problem.
How did she come to believe this?
Yeah.
Who's teaching her? What's going on in our schools
she got her feelings hurt.
that continue to promote this idea of I'm better than you. If you don't agree with me, rules for thee, not for me. I do think it's education.
I think it's I think it adds to it, but I think it's that social media and it's just like we say about AI. AI will tell you what you want to hear and make you feel good about yourself, and you're in an echo chamber and you're talking to the people that believe the exact same thing you believe. So yes, you're going to get thousands of people that will say, amen, sister, or people that, no, I don't agree. And that's what she wants is people that don't agree so that she can prove
So she can make an example out of them because they disagree with her rather than engaging in some kind of a debate.
Leave pizza out of it.
Leave pizza alone.
Leave pizza alone. All right, your thoughts on this or anything? I wonder how she feels about hamburgers because
don't start that. May start a war.
Toxic masculinity times a thousand.
Your thoughts are waiting for us on our website, dailyflashshow.com, or just drop us an email, flash@dailyflashshow.com.
We've got our question, Daily Flash Brain question of the day. Mitch?
What is the name of the fictional high school in the movie Grease? We'll have the answer when we return.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's see if you got today's Brain Flash question right. Here is the question. What was the name of the fictional high school in Greece? All right. If you didn't know it, the answer is Rydell High. Rydell High in the movie Grease. Well, Americans are battling long job searches, and they are quickly burning through their savings to stay afloat. So what should you do if you find yourself in the same predicament? Here with more insight is Jacob Zinkila from Business Insider. Jacob, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So why do you think in your research and reporting that job searches right now are lasting so long?
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly simple in that businesses aren't hiring nearly as much as they were a few years ago. And there are a lot of factors driving this. One is that economic uncertainty, including policy changes like tariffs, has made some companies hesitant to scale up their workforces. Another explanation is that some businesses did a lot of their hiring a few years ago. During the period, you might remember some people call it the Great Resignation, when workers were switching jobs at high rates. Companies ramped up hiring, and that surge is one reason hiring levels are comparatively slower now. AI also could be playing a role. While it's uncertain how many businesses are replacing workers with AI, it seems at least clear that some are at least assessing the impact of AI on their businesses and holding off on too much hiring until they have a clearer sense.
I know the financial experts always say have at least 6 months worth of living expenses saved up, and that can be hard for most of us. How are savings getting depleted so fast?
Yeah, obviously, when someone gets laid off, what they receive in terms of severance pay and their unemployment benefits can vary considerably depending on their employer and the state they live in. So not everyone can rely on these things to cover their expenses. So people have to turn to their savings during their job searches. And as anyone knows, when you don't have income coming in, your savings can get depleted really quickly. And this is always the case, but especially given some of the strong inflation of recent years that have pushed up prices of things like food and housing.
Yeah, and it's tough if you're faced with having to tap into that 401k. It just seems like once you start down that path, it's hard to get back. What are the biggest challenges that you see in today's labor market and in your reporting?
Yeah, I think a big challenge is that people are growing frustrated. Some people think that they're applying to tons of jobs. Some people feel like there's a lack of a human connection, that are the resumes being reviewed by a human, are they just sending them into the void? People feel like, there's certain strategies like networking that, people want to try, but it doesn't always play out, doesn't always work out. So basically there's a lot of competition and a lot of demand and not necessarily a very high supply of roles right now. And that's just creating a lot of headaches and frustration for people.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns. And then when you're applying through some of these job websites, it's this magical algorithm that you've got to hit just right, it seems, in order just to have somebody see your resume. What role do you think the Federal Reserve plays here when it comes to jobs and interest rates? I know it's all kind of an interesting mesh.
Yeah, so I would say rising interest rates in recent years have, made borrowing more expensive for businesses, which can slow investment in hiring. There is some debate among economists about how much interest rate changes directly impact companies' hiring decisions. Whereas, if you're looking to buy a home, like higher rates will lead to higher mortgage rates generally, which is definitely going to make buying a home more expensive. It's a little bit less straightforward with the job market, but it definitely is a factor at play.
Yeah, it's interesting how you see how the interest rate plays into so many different facets in our life. What advice do you have for struggling job seekers right now?
Yeah, one of my top pieces of advice is to talk to whoever you can, whether it be friends, family, or people at companies of interest. Ask about open roles and stay in touch because those connections can make a difference. However, building new connections can take a lot of work and patience. I've had job seekers tell me they hear back from about 5% of the people they reach out to on LinkedIn. So if you contact a lot of people and have little luck, that's normal, but it can be still worthwhile. And I guess lastly, I just say not to be afraid to ask for help. Job searching can be really isolating. And I think many of us would prefer just to kind of quietly find a job on our own and not really have to ask for much advice or support from others. But in today's market, going at it alone can be pretty tough, both mentally and also in terms of actually finding a job.
Yeah, it's so difficult. That's a great point, Jacob, because I think so many of us, our identity is definitely tied to what we do for work and our jobs. So it does make things somewhat difficult. Jacob, great to chat with you. Good insight here. We're going to share this interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. Jacob, thanks once again, and Business Insiders, where you can find more information.
Thank you there, Jackson. Some trending news story. I'm actually kind of happy about this because the Garden State, New Jersey, flipping the script. You'll understand why that makes sense. And ordering public schools to bring back cursive writing.
Yes.
Cursive. That's all starting next fall. And one of his final acts as governor, Phil Murphy, actually signed a new law requiring students in 3rd through 5th grades to actually learn cursive. He believes the move will help students with the basic skills like opening a bank account and signing checks later in life. It could happen. Cursive was generally kicked to the curb in 2010 when the outlandish Common Core standards were forced into districts. New Jersey is one of the number of states that are ditching Common Core and bringing back common sense, some say, and cursive back to their curriculum. It's something I appreciate. You guys know I appreciate handwriting altogether.
You have such beautiful handwriting.
And you know why I do.
Yeah.
I've told you this story, is that my 4th grade teacher told me I had horrible handwriting,
Yeah.
and it hurt my feeling really bad, and I started working on it all the time. However, if it's fast notes, I'll write in cursive.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I know it, but I'm still, as you can see here with my notes, I'm all capital letters and that sort of thing. I'm kind of happy to see it coming back.
Me too. I'm a combination of cursive and print, so I kind of write half and half.
Okay.
But when I went back home, my mom had saved a lot of stuff from my childhood years,
cool.
and I looked at some of my handwriting. I'm like, oh my God, I had beautiful handwriting in school, because they really made a point of taking that handwriting class and really sticking with it, and it was more of an art form.
It really is. I think you get to a point where you think, nobody cares, but
They do.
They do care, indeed.
Yeah.
More Flash after this. We're talking about fixing the healthcare system where we return.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. If you think healthcare is more complex, costly, and disconnected than ever, you are not alone. Our next guest, Gil Bash, has a new book out, and it's called Healing the Sick Care System, Why People Matter. Gil joins us now with some advice on how to get the most out of your doctor visits. Gil, welcome to Daily Flash.
Andrew, thank you so much for having me here this morning.
This is such an important topic. Everybody seems to struggle with this. Why does the U.S. seem to have the best doctors, most advanced treatments, but patients still feel lost when dealing with health issues?
Well, that's the multi-trillion-dollar question, isn't it? And there's a very, very good reason and a sad reason for that. Despite all our advances in training and investment, we spend about 18.7% of our GDP on health. We're actually providing a great deal of the world's health innovation, and yet we're living fewer years than many countries that spend a third of what we spend. What's the reason for that? I'm going to throw out a possible cause that I think a lot of doctors who have read the book and offered their comments agree with. We're becoming a transactional health system instead of a relationship-based system. The concept of having a relationship with a healthcare provider, a physician or a nurse practitioner, a physician's assistant, means we have someone who's really engaged with us, who we learn to relate to. We're losing that. And as a result of that, we're losing our health and we're losing years.
Yeah, it's become so compartmentalized in a certain way. How can patients get the most out of their healthcare visits?
Well, first and foremost, I think that you have to really interview your physicians or your care providers. Find someone that you really relate to, who you feel wants to be in relationship with you. And you can tell in a visit, are they looking more at their laptop or are they sitting across from you? That's a great indicator.
Yeah.
Are they going through the motions, or are they looking to make that special connection with you and your health? If they're looking at the laptop, it kind of shows that they're checking the boxes. So look for a physician who actually is interested in you, first and foremost. The next, be prepared. go into the visit and let the doctor know whether you've used a ChatGPT or whatever the case might be. Let the doctor know you like to come in prepared and with some questions. See their reaction to that. If they kind of resist and say, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm the doctor. Leave Dr. Google outside the office," they're kind of dismissing you. So look for care providers who actually want to use your curiosity as a springboard for getting you closer to taking care of your health. That matters. And then actually look for doctors who say, I know this sounds funny, I cover in the book, "I don't know." Doctors get out of medical school, they have to be all knowing. Perhaps they're trained that way. Look for a doctor who says, "Hey, that's a good question. I'm going to have to find out. Let me call you back." That's another reason. And then when you call your doctor via the portal or whatever, see how long they take to get back to you. A doctor who actually does their best to get back to you within a few hours or the same day at least is saying something very important. They're saying, "This relationship matters to me. Your health matters to me." Those are just some quick tips for the listeners today.
Those are some great talking points, great advice, Gil. I think you mentioned a few things in there when it comes to choosing a doctor, quantity versus quality. There are some doctors that just have so many patients that it's just kind of, they're going through the motions.
They're forced that way.
Yeah, they
by the
are
way.
forced.
It's not their
Exactly.
choice. It's
Exactly.
not their choice.
And the other thing I think is really key is I think sometimes we put so much responsibility on the doctor, expecting them to know exactly what's wrong with us when we walk in the room without having any kind of dialogue, that I think we do ourselves a disservice as a patient by not going in, as you suggested, being prepared and willing to talk about their concerns. And you've really got to communicate that with the doctor, because I think so many people think doctors are mind readers.
That's right.
And they're not.
That's right. Look, if a doctor doesn't realize your curiosity about your life
Yeah.
Isn't a positive thing, there's a problem. There's a problem in the relationship already. So try to imagine, even if you're 100% wrong about your research and analysis, a doctor who dismisses you is giving an indication of how they're going to connect to you. A doctor who says, "Wow, you've done a lot of research. Let me share with you what I think we have here," and uses your curiosity as a way to connect. That's saying something about the doctor's cognitive skill. A lot of doctors are so rushed, and we can talk about why in a second, but they're so rushed about the visit that they actually don't have a moment to think about having a relationship with you. Why? Well, doctors in this country are what they call fee for service. They make a salary based upon the time they spend with you and what they do with you. And so the system is kind of backward. Instead of saying, "Hey, how do I get compensated for an outcome that is about your being healthy and well?" They get compensated actually by, "Gee, you need an X-ray, an MRI, a blood test, this test." So our system is kind of convoluted here. And so we've got to get back to the core. The book actually talks about rebuilding a health system that remembers our humanity. And that's what's driving us a little bit, stir crazy here, which is doctors actually do want to be in relationship with you. And yet the system forces them to move you through. They have to say they're given an allocation actually of 12 to 16 minutes per patient.
Good stuff, Gil. Thank you so much for
half an hour.
joining us. For more information, please visit gilbash.com. The book is called Healing the Sick Care System.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
Yes, he is. I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Let's check in with James Alexander for our stations across the nation.
Yes, all 219 and growing stations across this great country and globally on the American Forces Network. You can go to our website at dailyflashshow.com and click on where to watch to find out where we are in your neck of the woods. And our local friend today. I love saying this station name. Whoop, 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 TV out of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Whoop.
There's every 10 I see down in Tennessee.
Oh,
all right,
nice.
now, did you know Chattanooga sits along the Tennessee River?
Okay.
Yep, sure does. Okay, it was a key battle site in the Civil War.
Yep.
And This city has one of the fastest internet networks in the U.S.
Why is
I didn't
that?
know. I have
I
no
didn't know,
idea.
I didn't know that.
What they got buried down there in Chattanooga,
Well,
Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Will,
why?
our floor director, had informed us, which I had no idea, but that's where moon pies are made from the Chattanooga baking
Bakery.
company. Right there.
That is awesome.
Something I know because I've been
Yeah.
through Chattanooga many times. Which, by the way, there are beautiful mountains up there, and you can drive along, and they have like pull over to the side.
Yeah.
And look at. The National Tow Truck Museum is in Chattanooga.
Mater is there?
He probably is. Yeah.
Mater is there.
But if you want to see
National
Tow Truck Museum and Hall of Fame as well is there.
Really?
And I only know that because I was driving by and go, hey, check that out.
That's
kind of
so
cool.
cool.
In Chattanooga.
That's what's up.
One of the beautiful things when you travel, like, by driving,
Yeah.
you get to see stuff like that. I don't know if it's necessarily controversy, and I'll tell you why. It looks like our friends at the UFC are now partnering, it's first of its kind training with the FBI. FBI are now going to be trained by MMA fighters.
Really?
I like it.
At Quantico. So basically, they're flying in UFC fighters to train these FBI agents, and the goal is to actually teach them, and I agree with this, real-world fighting techniques. It's so interesting to see this because I remember when MMA first came out, they wouldn't there were cities that we're not allowing this happening in our city at all. Because if you know anything about MMA, it's bare knuckles for the most. It's brutal. And it's real fighting.
Mano y mano.
In the octagon, right?
Yes. Mixed martial arts, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
And you know, you can do fight, kick, box, whatever you need. And if the officials in the government are saying that it actually helps agents prepare for dangerous situations.
Yes.
Now, if they were just trained in boxing, you meet up with somebody and you go, all right, bad guy, stick them up. I mean, MMA really is closer to
Put 'em
real
up,
life.
put 'em up.
Yeah.
I got to tell you what I love, and it is something I think they should have adopted a long time ago. Krav Maga. It's used by the IDF,
yes.
and it's
Sure.
real
Some
world.
of it, right?
Krav Maga incorporates Muay Thai, boxing. You learn how to do knife fighting, gunfights, and so on and so forth. Krav Maga. So
Krav Maga.
if they incorporated Krav Maga, you ready to kick tail and take
Well, and
names.
imagine some of that probably is included like in MMA, right? I mean,
No, it's
I
mixed
don't-
martial arts. I mean, that's what Krav Maga is. And it's been mastered by the IDF, and it's IDF, Israeli Defense Force. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Krav Maga is a great one.
But they incorporate weaponry.
They incorporate weapons and everything.
Whereas
Fight with
MMA is
anything.
like your fighting, your weapons are your
I like my
hands and
weapons.
your feet.
I want my FBI agents to be as prepared as
Yeah,
always.
I
but
think so.
Because of the administration we have, there's controversy behind it,
of course.
as always. And
Why?
Thank you.
That
That's
makes
what I
no
say.
sense.
Because Dana White is a big, is a
cares?
Trumper and that sort of thing. I agree with you 100%. It didn't. Why people have to bring politics into it altogether is amazing to me.
Yeah.
And we have, private
Right.
sectors help the government all
Yeah,
the time.
all the time.
Right.
And people are just saying that now that because how much is this going to allow the UFC to get even further, maybe beyond, I guess, influence and that sort of thing. To me, I don't care. I just want an FBI agent that knows how to kick ass,
Right.
and be able to be ready for any
Yeah.
kind of situation.
I love how the focus is on how dare Dana White get involved in helping the FBI agents, but $20 billion in Somali fraud in Minnesota is something they don't want to talk about.
Exactly. If it
Where the
doesn't fit the
baby's at.
agenda on that as well. Do you think? What else
Right.
can the private sector teach the FBI?
Yes.
I would like to know. We would all like to know, right?
Yes, we would. Send us an email. Let us know what you think. DailyFlashShow.com is the web address. Flash at Daily Flash Show is the email. We're
All
back
right.
right after this.
Hey, I was at CES 2026, and if you don't know, that is where you get to see the newest and coolest electronics, some really incredible tech. And one of the coolest discoveries is this ASUS computer. It's the ROG Flow Z13. ASUS recently collaborated with Kojima, and it has taken gaming and computing to a whole new, fun level. Here's what I learned.
This is the ROG Flow Z13 KJP edition. So this is our we call it the world's most powerful gaming tablet, right? It's got a detachable keyboard, right? It's got a SD card slot, replaceable storage, anything that you could want for really portable, on-the-go work and play. But the kind of star of the show this year is that we've created a special edition of it in collaboration with Kojima Productions, which is one of the biggest names in gaming today.
So if you're a gamer, you know who Kojima is.
Yes, if you think of like the most famous movie directors you can think of, like Hideo Kojima is that for gamers. He is an absolute visionary in the space, and so fans of his are gonna flock to this in droves.
What is his influence on this machine? What can we actually see?
So he has this very distinct visual style, and he works with an art director named Yoji Shinkawa on all of his projects, who also has a very distinct style as well. And so when you look at what we've done with this device, the color scheme is all new.
Let's show folks.
All these kind of cool, futuristic, clean lines, the use of carbon fiber here, that's all new for this device. If you flip up this hinge, you'll see a lot of these other influences down here. All of this is kind of based on their design, the kind of the mascot of their production company, and the video games that they've created also use a lot of that aesthetic style as well. It's extremely recognizable.
Okay, ROG, we need to explain this because gamers, of course, know what it is, but maybe those that might be a little bit newer to it.
Sure.
Explain what ROG is all about.
ROG is all about providing the highest performance gaming experiences to people, not only in the PC space. We primarily work in the PC gaming space, but also for people playing on console and Xbox at home and things like that as well.
All right, and so gamers are going to love this, but you had mentioned about creators. This is like on the go. You can take this pretty much anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And also to kind of feels like a little bit of a tablet feel as well.
It is. That's what's so cool about it is you can use it kind of like this with the keyboard attached, like a laptop if you want to. It's got this great big touchpad on it. You're going to be very familiar using that. But, you can also detach the touchpad, have it stand on its own, and, grab a controller and play that way. So this is using one of AMD's new Strix Halo chips. What it means is that the graphics and the CPU are all on a single chip. Traditionally, that's not what we do with a lot of gaming devices. They have a separate dedicated chip for graphics. But on this, because it's all on one chip, but still extremely powerful, you get actually roughly the same performance as you would get on some of those dedicated chips, but with better battery life and power efficiency because you only have to drive that one chip. And then the other cool thing is that it shares the RAM, the memory, with the rest of the system. So we actually put 128 gigs of RAM in this, which is a huge amount. But what you can do is that you can split that up however much you want between the system and the graphics and say, I want to do really high resolution gaming, or maybe I want to work with local language models and do AI work because I'm at programming AI stuff. I want to dedicate a ton of memory to that. You can do all that with this machine. Again, versatility and being able to kind of tune things how you want them for the task at hand.
Pretty cool, right? Well, the ROG Flow Z13 is pretty special because it's one of the only devices that is simultaneously a tablet, a full Windows gaming PC, a 2-in-1 laptop, and expandable to desktop-level GPU power. Let's not forget the ROG Flow Z13 is powerful for a small device, has a high refresh rate touchscreen, and it is very portable. What's cool is that it also includes Microsoft Super Resolution. That's an AI-powered image upscaling feature that enhances, even enlarges low-resolution images by up to 8 times. Yes, 8 times. That reduces blur and pixelation. Now, you can find out more information on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. Did you know that more than 115 million Americans live with prediabetes, and more than just about 80% are actually unaware of it? Pamela Nesvich-Betty joins us now with more on Diabetes Alert Day. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Pamela, what is prediabetes, and really, how can all of us really assess personal risk?
Prediabetes is when our glucose, our energy behind the scenes, starts to become elevated. But it's not elevated at a level where we would be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. However, prediabetes carries a lot of risk with it, and it's pervasive. About 115 million American adults live with prediabetes, but this epidemic is pretty silent because 8 out of 10 don't even realize they have it. So it's worth asking, could this be me? Certain risk factors increase our chances of getting prediabetes. So family history, if you had gestational diabetes, or different lifestyle factors like being inactive. All these affect your risk. And you can actually better understand your risk by taking a quiz at hellolingo.com to know if it's time to get yourself familiar with your glucose.
Well, why does glucose matter even for those without known prediabetes or diabetes diagnosis?
Well, glucose is one of our body's main sources of energy. It fuels our mind, it fuels our muscles. And while we're all looking for more energy, this is not a time when more is better. Actually, when glucose starts to run higher, it carries with it a lot of risk of different diseases. And so it also increases our risk for type 2 diabetes. Glucose is really responsive though, so it's influenced by food, movement, even stress, but most of us don't have visibility to what our glucose is doing in the day-to-day. We get it checked maybe once a year. Luckily, we have tools like continuous glucose monitors, like Lingo by Abbott, that give us more of a day-to-day 24/7 insights into what our glucose is doing behind the scenes. And when we have visibility on how our food, our exercise, our stress impacts our glucose and impacts our health, we can make more informed choices that actually work for us and our personal health.
And what about the over-the-counter wearable technology that tracks wellness goals?
Yes, so the wearable technology Lingo by Abbott includes a biosensor you wear on the back of your arm for up to 14 days. It pairs with the Lingo app on your smartphone, and minute by minute, you see your glucose. So how it's responding to your choices, your lifestyle factors, and there you can make changes to keep your glucose within a healthy range and therefore improve your health.
Pamela, thank you. We're going to post this interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. Many families are starting to plan their next vacation, and beach trips are a great getaway, right? Well, travel expert Darlene Newman is teaming up with Visit Myrtle Beach, and she joins us now from Myrtle Beach, the Gulf capital of the world, with some travel advice. Hi there, Darlene. Tell us, what are some of the travel basics people should actually consider when it comes to planning out their next vacation?
A great vacation should be fun and memorable, but also easy to get to, budget-friendly, and packed with options. Whether you're into food, adventure, or you just want to relax by the ocean, Myrtle Beach delivers. There are more than 60 miles of coastline, new entertainment, and fresh dining deals, really for all budget levels. Right now, there's a Make More Myrtle Moments promotion going. You can book 3 nights and get 1 free, or book 5 nights and get 2 free.
Very cool. What's your best tip that you can give folks for a family vacation?
When you're thinking about planning a family vacation, you want to think about access, affordability, and flexibility. That's why destinations about Myrtle Beach are just so great, because there's value, there's variety, and convenience. Myrtle Beach is located within a day's drive of half of the U.S., and there's also upgrades to the airport. It's newly renovated. You've got Brooklyn Gardens with upgrades, the Myrtle Beach Pelican Stadium, and lots of great lodging options, like right here at the Ocean Escape Boardwalk.
You know, it's gorgeous right behind you there, too. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a great place to do some golfing as well. Where can folks go if they want to find out more information?
You can check out visitmyrtlebeach.com to plan your trip and look at travel discounts.
That sounds fantastic. Great place to check out. Love Myrtle Beach. And want to thank you there for joining us. We're going to post this interview on our website. You can go there anytime, dailyflashshow.com/FMI. There you'll find links and more information as well.
Wondering how aesthetic treatments can help you look your best? Dermatologist Dr. Mona Gohara, in partnership with Allergan Aesthetics, is here with more. Doctor, great to have you. There's a lot of conversation online about unnatural filler results. What's your reaction to this, and what causes issues like filler migration?
So I think the most important thing to remember is exactly what you just said, Andrea. Online, you have to consider the source. I can tell you, as a board-certified dermatologist for the past 20 years, that hyaluronic acid filler treatments are safe. They create a natural result, a customizable result. And if it's done by a board-certified dermatologist or a board-certified plastic surgeon, you will be happy as a clam. So the key is to consider the source. Don't look at those overpuffed lips or those overpuffed cheeks. Just go to a provider who knows what they're doing. In terms of filler migration, sure, that can happen. It is not common at all. It isn't something that we see in our offices on a regular or daily basis. So again, I encourage you to follow the science, not the hype.
I think that's great advice, and this follows into the next question, really. What should patients expect during and after treatment, and how can they ensure they get the results they want?
That's a great question. So first, pick your provider, right? So you want to make sure that you're going to a board-certified plastic surgeon or dermatologist to get the treatment. Second, have a plan. Make sure that you know They know what you expect and you know what they expect. Have a plan. You want to tell your doctor that you want a natural result, right? So you get a natural result. Third, you want to pick the right product. I personally like hyaluronic acid fillers because they are great at replacing age-related volume loss. And then you want to have patience. So just remember that nothing happens overnight, but the results you get will be amazing.
That is so true, especially when it comes to beauty and this kind of thing. Shortcuts are not a good idea. Questions and patience, as you mentioned, are a very good idea. Where can our viewers go to learn more or find a qualified provider?
Great question. Patients can go to naturallyyou.ha.com.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll post this interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. Hey, Mitchie.
Hey, Jackson.
Yeah, I want to talk about that big story coming out of Hollywood.
Hold on. Wait. I want to get Matt in on this call, all right? Hold on.
Hey, what's up, Mitch and Dias?
Matty!
Mitchie.
Mateus.
Mitch, my man.
Matty of Berkshire.
What's going on?
Hey, AJ wants us to talk about a big story that's happening.
This kid, the Kiki, says hi. He has his own Instagram.
That's great, Matt, but I really want to talk about this big story coming out of Hollywood.
Ooh, dog and cat, it's
You should check it out. This kid, the Kiki.
I want to know what's going on.
What?
Oh, okay, so real quick. Why does he still have a dial-up modem?
Hey, I gotta get back to wrestling stuff.
It's on the music.
You know what? Maybe we should just try this later.
Okay, all right. Peace and love.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson.
In the tense 72 hours before D-Day, the fate of the world hangs in the balance. This is today's must-watch movie, Pressure.
Tiger was a training op, dress rehearsal for D-Day. They walked right into it. One mistake. Just that one mistake.
Ike, you have to stop doing this to yourself. What's done is done. Group Captain Dr. James Stagg, here at the express request of General Eisenhower.
Do we have a date yet for the invasion zone?
D-Day is in 61 hours from now. This is the largest seaborne invasion in history. Fate of the war, thousands of lives hinge on this. I need a forecast. Churchill tells me you're the best meteorologist in the country.
Get me the latest readings from every single base within 2,000 miles of Normandy. The invasion's confirmed for Monday.
Oh, they won't like this.
We are faced with a succession of 2 aggressive storms.
Are you absolutely certain?
D-Day will be calm and sunny. I couldn't disagree with that more.
If D-Day is cancelled, we will lose this war.
The final decision on the timing of D-Day will be mine, and mine alone.
If you invade tomorrow, they're going to be washed away.
300,000 men with families that they may never see again. Why should I trust you?
We must face the facts! The facts, however frightening they may be!
If we delay...
The enemy will be ready and waiting. They'll slaughter every single last one of us.
The storms that I'm talking about are real, and the wrath of nature is real.
You wonder about the name. Mainly, it's based around a meteorologist. They had to get a weather report over to the Allied forces. That's what this is about. And Brendan Fraser playing, of course, Eisenhower.
So good. That does it for us. Be good, everybody.
Bye-bye, y'all.